Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining me in this video. The federal government has insisted that Binta Nyako should continue Nnamdi Kanu's trial. They are saying that the trial should resume, that they want to, speed up the trial and finish up everything. In one way, that is what everybody is supposed to seek for, just to finish these shenanigans that has been going on. But in the other way around, many people knows that Nnamdi Kanu don't have case to answer. And this is the issue here. The legal defense team of Nnamdi Kanu are saying no, that our counsel Nnamdi Kanu refused Binta Nyako because about some months ago, Binta Nyako recuses herself from this trial because Nnamdi Kanu said he don't have faith in Binta Nyako. Not because Binta Nyako is a bad person, no. Nnamdi Kanu always said that he respects Binta Nyako, that Binta Nyako is not a bad person. But about 10 years ago, it's not 10 years ago, that is about 6-7 years ago, I don't remember the exact date, Nnamdi Kanu made a broadcast where he said that Binta Nyako's husband and son, that the federal government are charging them, of something, whether it's EFCC. You must have seen the video or hear about the story, right? Now, they want him to finish up everything maybe they asked her to do about the Nnamdi Kanu case. Now, if Nnamdi Kanu said, I don't have faith in Binta Nyako's again because of what I know, based on information in my disposal, why is the federal government imposing Binta Nyako on Nnamdi Kanu? So, let's go through this article that says that the Nnamdi Kanu's legal team rejects Nigerian government's request to continue IPOB leader's trial under Justice Nyako. It happens today, and this is the details of the article. The legal team of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has rejected the request by the Nigerian government's legal team to resume the criminal charge trial of the IPOB leader under Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court, Abuja. The Nigerian legal team had in a letter dated December 5, 2024 and signed by Asewaju Adegboyaga Awomondo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and addressed to the Deputy Chief Registrar of the Federal High Court in Abuja, requested a date for resumption of Kanu's trial under Nyako. The letter reads, "We write as prosecuting counsel in the above named criminal case pending before the Federal High Court number 2. Your record will reveal that the defendant asked His Lordship, the Honorable Justice Binta Nyako, to recuse herself on Tuesday, 24th September 2024. The case file was returned to the Honorable Chief Judge. We were informed that the Honorable Chief Judge had returned the case file back for continuation of the trial by His Lordship, the Honorable Justice Binta Nyako." So, out of the article. So, when Nnamdi Kanu asked Binta Nyako to withdraw from the case, she withdrew and the case was returned to the Chief Judge. Now, the Chief Judge now returned the case back to Binta Nyako. Someone would ask, why is all those things going on? Now, the Chief Judge before said the reason why she wanted Binta Nyako to finish the case is because Binta Nyako has been going through the case for almost 10 years and she knows what is going on. I don't know whether people are not even ashamed to say government is trying one person for 10 years. Anyway, the article continues. It says that your record will reveal that he, the defendant, asked His Lordship, the Honorable Justice Binta Nyako, to recuse herself on Tuesday, 24 September 2024. Okay, I've read that place. It says the case file was returned to the Honorable the Chief Judge. We were informed that the Honorable Chief Judge had returned the case file back to continuation of trial by His Lordship, Honorable Justice Binta Nyako. Grateful, may we ask for a date for continuation of hearing of the criminal charges against the defendant. However, the Kanu's legal team, led by his special counsel Barrister Lloyd Ejimako, rejected the request, noting that Justice Nyako had entered and enrolled an order recusing her from handling the case or continuing with the trial. Kanu's legal team recalled that the said order was entered on September 24, 2024. And to date, the order is extant and subsisting, stressing that the order has not been set aside by a subsequent order made by a competent court pursuant to a competent process on notice. Kanu's legal team made the objection in a letter dated December 9, 2024, signing signed by the lead counsel Barrister Nyako and addressed to the Deputy Registrar of the Federal High Court in Abuja in response to the Nigerian government's legal team's request. The data by Kanu's legal team raised, the communication pertains to the attached data by the company requesting for a date for continuation of hearing of the criminal charges against the defendant. By this communication, we wish to go on the record to inform your good office that the defendant takes serious exemption to the said data and hereby vigorously objects to the request by the complainant for a date for continuation of hearing of his criminal case before His Lordship, Honorable Justice Binta Nyako. Our position is predicted on the fact of record that His Lordship, Honorable Justice Binta Nyako had entered and enrolled on order recusing His Lordship from handling the case or continuing with the trial. The said order was entered on 21st September 2024, and to date the order is extant and subsisting, as it has not been set aside by a subsequent order made by competent court pursuant to a competent process or notice. Accordingly, we believe that the compliance request is fatally misconceived, and if not checked, it may mislead His Honorable Court to a path of infamy and unconstitutionality. For avoidance of that, as from 24th September 2024, the defendant no longer has any such case to answer before His Lordship, Honorable Binta Nyako. So the article continues, but let me stop it there. I think what the lead counsel to Nnamdi Kanu did, I know that is the decision of Nnamdi Kanu. There is no doubt about that. And if Nnamdi Kanu wanted to continue under Binta Nyako, I think he would continue. And on that very day in the court, you saw how Nnamdi Kanu stood up to ask Binta Nyako to recuse herself from the proceeding. So what do you think about all these things? Do you think it could also cause further delay? But for me, I think Nnamdi Kanu is not even interested whether the thing is getting delaying, whether anything is happening for him. He just wants the right thing to be done. And he's so confident of himself. He's so confident that, yes, Nigeria government have made a lot of mistakes and they don't have jurisdiction to try him for the very first time. But that is what the globalists do. Once they have the power to do what they want to do, they will use the power against, the constitution. They will use their power against even their own constitution. And that is why both the EU and everyone has asked Nigeria government to let Kanu go, but they refuse. But let's see how this unfolds. Let me know what you think on the comment section.
Sorry if I call him Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yes. That is a title that his followers have bestowed upon him, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, MNK. And this is a man that has passionate followership. He has passionate, loyal followership from a certain region of Nigeria and all over the world. From your experience with him and all that, what do you think? Is there his followers would be watching and they want to know, do you think in any nearest future Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be released, or you think that the Nigerian government will continue to play their hanky-panky game to keep him in detention? What should his followers expect from the Nigerian government?
You see, nobody can hold him down. It's just a matter of time. They will have to leave him and leave him forever. This is what happened to leaders of social movements that are unique in their origin, in their makeup, composure, and character. They will come, the state will go after them, but they'll become stronger as much. The more oppression they get, the stronger they become, the more passionate followers they command. So what the Nigerian state is trying to do is to see if they can break him. But unfortunately, he has passed that stage. He can't be broken anymore. Even if he breaks at this point, he has created an unbreakable movement and message. So the best you can do is to find accommodation with him. And you saw what he did in court last time. It shows that he's still very much cognitively aware of his role in history. It's the same thing I told them when before they arrested me in 2019, that there's no judge that has ever tried history and succeeded. We are people of history. And that's what came to pass. One day, they were the ones who went to court and said, "My lord, we want to withdraw the charges against you." But I told them from day one, I told the judge, they were religious, I said, "This is rubbish, madam." Say, read the judgment, read the charges. I said, when they finished reading, I said, I don't understand. But my lawyer said, I should plead not guilty. The judge was riled. I'm looking at her, she was a very pesky judge like that. I'm looking at her, I said, look at this one.
What's the judge's name? Let's call it.
Ijeoma Ojukwu. Eventually, she was transferred out of Abuja. She wasn't happy because she felt she was used. You know. But I don't hold any grudge against her. That is her historical role in what I came to do. You know. And the moment that part is over, she had to move on. They even asked her to continue to be coming for my case. He says she's not doing it. Because maybe when the case first came to her table, she didn't know the gravity of what was coming. That she was standing in the way of a tsunami. And when she realized what it was, she had to just step aside. And that's what happened.
So categorically, the judiciary is being held to hold Nnamdi Kanu.
Oh, absolutely. There's all those pronouncements you are seeing in the court system it has nothing to do with the judge. See, what they do is that they write these things for the judges. This is what we want you to say today over this Kanu's matter. Because basically, even other justices in the Nigerian system, including the Supreme Court, practically declare that Nnamdi's case doesn't exist. There's no case against him. Even if they try him for 10 years, they cannot present any evidence. But what they will do is that they will never go to evidence. They'll just be adjourning, come today, come tomorrow, you file this, it's okay. Because all they need to do to waste your time in Nigeria, they adjourn 3 times a year. The judges, they go on vacation from December till around February. Then in February, when they call your case, they push it to April, June. In June, they go for vacation for 2 months. So your case will not come back on September. By September, they are in December. That's what they do.
So they continue detention of.
In my case, for instance, we were in court for 5 years. They presented only 1 witness.
In 5 years.
In 5 years,
the state of Nigeria presented just one
DSS guy who said he saw me at Ikeja that I said there was going to be a protest. That's the only witness.
For Nnamdi Kanu,
they have not presented any. There's nobody that I'm aware of. And I go to court on his behalf every day, but they will never allow me to enter the court. They're always waiting for me. I still went to court before the last hearing, and I was struggling with the DSS people outside there. I have footage of it. They collected my phone. I collected it back. It was a scuffle. It was a scuffle in front of the court because I told them, I said, if it's not that Nigeria is useless, how can DSS come in front of the Federal High Court? Some of them don't even have YX certificate. To now be marking the name of lawyers. I told the lawyers, your MBA in Nigeria is useless. How can DSS be telling which lawyer can enter Federal High Court and which lawyer? And I told the DSS guy when they came and were returning my phone to me, I said, why are you wasting your time bringing Kanu to the court here? Just use one of your conference rooms, find a kangaroo judge, go and sentence him there. Why are you doing all this drama? But the reason they bring Kanu to court is they make a lot of money from bringing him to court. They spend an average of 500 million naira per bringing him to court. So, yes.
Who makes that money?
It's the DSS. Yes. The DSS budget is not scrutinized like everything. It's just spent.
It's like security votes.
So they just say, we are taking Kanu to court. So we brought this number of cases. We block everywhere. All our security agents are there. Blah blah blah. It's all the scam. So all those paparazzi you are saying.
This is the kind of revelations that we bring forth when we have our amazing interviews on IC Magazine. The continued detention of Nnamdi Kanu within the DSS premises of the Nigerian government is a money-making scheme for the DSS.
You can quote me anywhere, anything.
For every court appearance that Nnamdi Kanu comes out for, the DSS makes as much as 500 million naira.
Yes.
You are hearing that from somebody who has been in that same position where Nnamdi Kanu has been. And as such, if an organization like the DSS makes that much money, do you think they would want to release Nnamdi Kanu?
Never.
So we see where his continuous detention is coming
not
from.
going anywhere.
No judge, just like our guest has said, no judge has found anything incriminating about Nnamdi Kanu.
But he's discharged twice. Like,
he's been discharged twice.
Even if Supreme Court said it, that it was Nigerian government that violated his bail by invading his compound, that he didn't jump bail. That was what the Supreme Court ruled. But in their own usual confusion and rigmarole, they said, well, let him still go back and answer the rest of the charges. So what the judge would have done is to reinstate his bail, since it was the army that went to get his bail. But it's Nigeria now.